Alright guys, I wanted to hit two of the problems from our warm-up today just so you had a chance to hear them again as you're going over your homework. The first one was number 6 on the warm-up, and what was unusual about it is it did not have a GCF and it only had 2 terms. What it was missing was it had its A value and it has its C value. It's missing a B value. So we said we were just going to put in a 0 for B, because that's not going to change the value of the problem, and rewrite it. From here, we can treat this problem the same. My A is 1, so when I do my A times C, I end up with -4. To multiply to get a negative number, that means I have to have a positive and a negative sign on my pair that I'm going to substitute in. So to get 4, I can either do 1 times 4 or 2 times 2. Knowing I have to have opposite signs and add to 0, I'm going to put this with my 2 and 2, because 2 minus 2 will be 0. So I'm going to substitute them in right here for 0x. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 4. Then we can split it, and we're going to do our grouping looking at the left and right sides. Left side, what they have in common is x. So I pull the x out for the GCF, and I'm left with an x plus 2. On the right hand side of the split, the sign is a negative, so that tells you you're dividing by a negative number. 2 and 4 have a 2 in common. So my GCF is -2. -2x divided by 2 leaves a positive x behind. -4 divided by -2 is going to leave a positive 2 behind. When I look, I now have 2 terms. This is one term. This is the other term. They have an x plus 2 in common. So if I factor out what they have in common, I put the GCF out front, which was the x plus 2, and what was left behind is x minus 2. Now that's the grouping way. The shortcut way is if A is 1, remember shortcut only works when A is 1. Once you have your pair with their signs, it's going to be what you're just going to place it in the parentheses with its variable. But I want you guys to do whichever method works best for you. Now, I wanted to go back over number 5 with us again. You check it. There's no GCF. These guys have in common. So it means we're going to jump into our A times C. So we have 4 times -1 gives us -4. A negative number tells us we have to have a positive sign and a negative sign. So our pairs are 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. I need to get to a positive 4, and the only way I could do that would be a positive 2 and a positive 2. But positive 2 times positive 2 does not multiply to -4. So I can't make both of these true, multiplying to A times C and adding to positive 4. So that means this problem is prime. I could do nothing to it. There's no GCF or anything. That means it does not factor. Okay, you'll have one of those on your quiz tomorrow. So prime is when you can do nothing to it. If we look at number 1 on our warm-up today, there is something we can do to this, because it does actually have a GCF of 2w. And when I pull the GCF out of it, I'm left with 24w minus 7. Because I was able to do something to this, this is not prime. Only when you can do nothing to it. So hopefully that helps you. We'll see you tomorrow. Study hard.